You're kind of rocking the side mic stand, like kind of the
Yeah, Jeff told me that's kind of the...
Well, this is Steven Seagal style. You know how he invented
with the SM7, the side
pipe,
angle.
side piece. Well, you know how
side piece.
Yeah, but almost like a Freddy vibe too. Kind of a non-traditional microphone stand use.
Yeah, I think of it more like a kind of like DJ Wolfman Jack kind of thing.
Okay.
Where I'm just kicking back, playing records.
All right.
I need to have my hands free.
Yeah, so you do the side. I mean, it's just...
answering the phone and all that, yeah.
Play Misty for me.
Yeah, that kind of
Kind
thing.
of a long wave radio DJ.
FM.
Oh, you're on the FM dial.
Yeah, but like old school FM, like how it was like the
better, more audiophile quality,
better quality,
better
and
bandwidth.
Just like the more badass radio personalities did FM back in the 70s.
Yeah,
you know,
with classic bits.
You're listening to CKVV, home of the Wolfman.
Yeah, with classic bits such as, do you use hot water or cold water to brush your teeth?
There was this awesome... We went on tour one time, and Dan had this classic bootleg that went around of this guy who went to Vietnam and did a radio show. Like
Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah, but like it's a real thing, but it wasn't like funny or anything. Like he was just like a cool guy, playing records. And...
Like during the war?
Yeah. And
he was an American. He was a patriot.
Yeah, yeah.
He service the troops.
And it's become this classic bootleg because he's so funny, and it's just him running everything. So he'll be like, and now I got to go and take a shit.
Nice.
Stuff like that.
Does he have a kind of
there's one
Marine-style voice?
He talks like this because he says it like
Strikes.
he'll play like CCR, Born on the Bayou.
Yeah.
And then it'll end, and he'll go, and the hits just keep on coming.
Oh, yeah.
And then he'll play Good Vibrations or something.
Amazing.
Just like whatever he wants. Playing what
CCR
we want.
kind of have a Vietnam vibe.
For sure.
Yeah.
But like
Forgotten
how much
Son.
is that from every single movie with a Vietnam scene, like
Playing
having
Forgotten
Fortunate
Son.
Son?
Fortunate Son,
playing
yeah,
the back.
sorry, yeah.
I mean, that is kind of a Vietnam song, but...
Yeah, I suppose it is, yeah. What about...
They just have that vibe of like
kind of
run through the jungle.
Yeah, they kind of... Yeah, Bayou feel.
Well, I mean... The Bayou stuff's a little different to me. But
but it's kind of... It relates.
Yeah, exactly. The jungles
It's a partial
the
lineage.
jungles home or the jungles of Nam.
Yeah, or just kind of like
In
the
the
swampy...
shit. In the shit.
Hamburger Hill. Really, if you think about it.
And then, yeah, I mean, they got a few...
So you think that guy would have had used the same microphone stand technique that you and Steven Seagal do?
Maybe. He might have not been like as cozy in his chambers in Vietnam where he did the show.
You think he was
I'm
in a
not sure.
foxhole?
Like, it has that vibe.
It has
like
a foxhole energy.
Yeah, it does.
Good song off Adventure, hey?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
Took
is
me
a good
second there,
record.
sorry. Yeah, it's good.
More progressive than Marquee Moon, but...
I like the live one.
No complaints. The double?
It's
Johnny
called,
Jewel?
It's called like the makeup.
Little Johnny Jewel or something?
Yeah.
Is that what we call you, maybe?
No one ever...
I like it that you have a copy with the zipper.
Well, let me tell you, we're doing our podcast today on a stone cold hot sex classic.
Horniest record of all time.
Called Sticky Fingers by the Rolling Stones. Sleaziest title also.
Yeah, well,
But,
I mean, that's actually... Well, what do you think it means?
If I'd only read the Wikipedia page this morning, I'd know that. But that's the one thing I didn't do.
Is that a Warhol cover?
Yes, it is. There's a really, really awesome letter that Jagger wrote to Warhol. It's so cool. I'll see if I can find it at one point, but you people can look it up. That he wrote him like on Rolling Stone's letterhead. It's so
Nice.
beautiful, typed out, just saying, Andy, like we really would be absolutely thrilled to have you do the cover.
Frolicking
for
around.
our new the music's shaping up quite nicely.
Yeah.
And he's saying we'd love it if it would be such and such a direction. But that being said, please feel free to do anything you'd like.
To strum away.
Let us know exactly how much money you'll require, and we'll have it sent immediately. Like really classy. Like,
well, they're Ealing boys,
Yeah.
They're from West London.
Mick has a bit of a, I suppose so. sort of a I saw an interview with him, and they said
He's a little
"Mick,"
bit posh, isn't
and
he?
He's a little, and the interviewer said, "Mick, are you satisfied?" And he said, "What do you mean, like sexually?" And he said, "Sexually, philosophically, and financially." And he says, "Sexually, I am satisfied, yes. Philosophically, trying, and financially, very unsatisfied."
Brilliant.
That was when they were dealing with all their tax.
Yeah.
The tax man.
Was he? Which one of them was fucking around with Anita Pallenberg then? Both of them? Or?
Well, no, I think he lost her to Keith, but he was still sexually satisfied because it didn't really matter what was happening with his wife or anything.
Nah, it didn't
for that
really matter.
kind of stuff. Bowie was.
He was fucking. He was.
him.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And you.
I heard this
You're
one story
beautiful.
about like a woman. I forget who it was. Oh, maybe like Bowie's wife at the time, like
Angie.
Iman or.
Oh right, yeah. No,
and
it wasn't that one. Surely.
Maybe not, but she talked about like watching Bowie and
He
Jagger
wasn't
have
married
sex.
to her. Oh right.
And she was just
Beautiful.
it was amazing. She was just like these two like skinny, beautiful men just like groping each other. She was like, it was really hot. It was awesome.
Yeah. Well, it can't have looked worse than the music video they made in the 80s. Those shirts used to terrify me.
For dancing in the streets.
Yeah, they really did. Used to freak me out.
The
those
dance
shirts.
moves terrified me.
Yeah, the whole thing. Presumably it didn't look like when they were having sex. It didn't look like that because that's not beautiful by any stretch. of the satin blouses
and like really aggressive dance moves.
Yeah, really aggressive.
Yeah,
I think that's the thing about Jagger though, is that like, and why Sticky Fingers is so good is that like, we may disagree on this, but like, this is. It's kind of like, this is like peak Stones, I think. And slowly, even though there's like major high moments, it's all just a downhill slope towards corporate synergy.
Yeah,
for that band after this,
yeah.
Slowly,
100%. Agree.
So by that point, he's just into making money and being the Lips and being a pastiche version of Jagger.
Well, I mean, this is a controversial opinion, but I agree that this is the most fruitful period.
Maybe the most
the band.
Stonesy of all Stones
Definitely.
records.
And, best albums. And I hate to say it, but I'm not a big Brian Jones fan. And it was very sad for them, I'm sure, when he died, even though Keith killed him or something, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or like hired his pool cleaner to kill him.
Yeah, he got his pool cleaner to kill him.
But I really do feel like, this is like a thing in music that like Brian died and then it's like they were finally free
of the psychedelic
to like
bohemian
make like
stuff.
the shit they always wanted to make. Yeah,
they could get really
country
bluesy.
music.
Yeah.
And like, Brian was also like, he's constantly Brian liked blues, but like,
yeah, but he was also like satanic and doing like, and he was kind of
just,
bohemian.
Like, couldn't stand in the studio. So it's like, imagine if you were them and you're like, hey, we're gonna make a record, and they're like, what the fuck is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Like party with us after the session. Like, we're all into it.
But where would you rank Brian Jones in terms of like the guitarists of the Stones?
Oh, I could not tell you what Brian Jones' guitar playing sounds like.
Sort of like sitar-y, junky.
Like, does he do like the last time? Like, does he do like the riff on that?
It's a good riff.
It's all Keith that.
Yeah.
It's gotta be.
He's doing a slide maybe.
Like, that didn't make the record.
Yeah. Maybe he plays like Paint It Black.
I know he does the slide on No Expectations.
Yeah.
Because he's all junked out on Rock and Roll Circus doing it.
And people are so sad, apparently.
I'm watching it and I'm just really, really hoping that he hits all the notes right. And he does.
Yeah.
And it's kind of a nice last moment for him because he doesn't flub anything.
Yeah.
Even though the Stones were the worst they were the worst act on the Rock and Roll Circus.
Yeah. So,
I believe that.
Mick Jones is the guy who
Taylor?
replaced Mick Taylor. Sorry, what did I say that?
Do the Clash next week, buddy.
Yeah, it's kind of early.
Morning feel.
It's kind of a morning feel. I'll slow down. Yeah, Mick Taylor, kind of a Latin feel.
Santana.
Yeah,
I always thought he played a lot like Santana.
Yeah, well, yeah, he does.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, no, and you know when he left the Stones, well, before he left the Stones, he went on an 8-week journey into the Amazon to find the true soul of blues and kind of Latin music, polyrhythmic kind of thing.
Oh
yeah.
my God.
I actually read a quote here you'll love from New York Times critic Robert Palmer, not to be confused with Robert Palmer. And it says, Mick Taylor was the most accomplished technician that ever served as a Stone. How would you feel about that?
Technician?
Yeah, technician, yeah. The most accomplished technician.
Well, I've never seen him change a pair of strings before, but...
Yeah. I like
Is that
the
what he
idea
means?
of, like, who's technically the best guitarist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see, yeah.
You know, he's... In terms of raw power.
Well, yeah.
You know, raw power, maybe it's Ron.
Well, yeah,
You know,
Keith...
pure sex, it's Keith.
If I had a nickel for every time I've heard somebody tell me that Keith wasn't technically a good guitarist...
So who's technically... yeah.
bullshit I've ever heard. Like you know, well, like
Yeah.
he couldn't even play.
No.
Really.
Yeah, it's open G.
Yeah,
It's just
that's it.
open
That
G.
dude, this guy that ran a record store in Victoria once. Yeah, I remember just saying that he can't even play. You know, it's all he does is he knows one chord, open G.
Yeah.
And I was like, "What about the guitar solo in "Sympathy for the Devil"? That's sweet." And he was like, "Well, that's Brian." And I was like, "No. I've seen the movie.
Oh, I've seen the movie. I've
seen what Brian's doing. They've
I've
got
seen
him
it.
on a pair of congas behind some
Skagged out.
baffles.
Yeah.
Like he's just like,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just
And
about
he's
to
not
go,
even the-
go in the Sid route.
yeah.
I mean,
Pretty bad. Ron Wood, I couldn't really tell you a ton about his contribution as a guitar technician in the Stones,
Yeah.
but love his energy for the group. I think
great and a very accomplished artist too.
Is he?
Yeah, really accomplished artist. But yeah, like when they were turning up the kind of full sleaze, horned out angle, it made sense that they had to switch Mick Taylor out for Ron Wood.
They were just like, he just slid right in.
Yeah.
Slithered right in. It's like
right
he'd
in.
always been in the band.
We didn't
somehow.
even notice, and suddenly he's
on
there.
stage,
He's
yeah.
on stage, and he knows
Every
how to
song.
play every song.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's true.
So I guess he does all the leads like from, or a lot of them like live, like from that 74 on, or like it's kind of weird.
I read a thing about Mick Taylor that he was like discovered playing with like
John Mayall.
He went to a
Blues
he went to a Blues Breakers concert when he was 16, and Clapton didn't was meant to play, but like his guitar was set up, but like he didn't come out, probably because he's Clapton, and so Mick Taylor went up to, you know, just as a 16-year-old, John Mayall, and said, "Hey, you mind if I just get up there? I know your songs well. Like, I know what I'm doing." And he said, "Sure, yeah, get up and play." So he did. And then I read that after earning Mayall's respect, he let him play the second set. And then after he showed him what he can do, you know, he earned his respect. Mm-hmm. And then after that, a year later, when Peter Green left the Blues Breakers to start Fleetwood Mac, Taylor got the call. You know, so I thought that was interesting that they
Blues
were all.
Breakers had more than one guitar player? No.
Listen, he got the call. That's all I'm saying.
No. I'm just trying to think.
He gave them a kind of Latin Stills feel.
Well, Stills wishes.
Dwayne Allman,
Mick
maybe.
Taylor can really play that
Like
kind of
Dwayne
Latin
Allman
flavor.
Yeah.
I was watching somebody kind of break down yesterday on a YouTube tutorial.
Yeah.
Break down Mick Taylor's kind of blues techniques.
Okay.
And it was really, I mean...
I'd love to know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, he needed a couple of pedals and like, you know, different...
I'm sure there was criticism
to
of that
get-
in the comments section.
Yeah, like he couldn't accurately get the tone.
Without a couple of pedals.
Without a couple of specially designed pedals to achieve... Because as he described it, the Stones, you know, most of those, they were just cranking their guitars through Ampeg amps in the early
Interesting.
70s. And, you know, for the sake of the tutorial, he couldn't really recreate that, so he
Just
needed
in terms of it would be too loud for his apartment.
Exactly,
that he lived in.
exactly, yeah. So, it sounded pretty good.
But he had a couple of custom pedals, you're saying?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, and
Kind of audiophile.
Yeah. He might have built them himself. I'm not sure. I didn't
kit.
watch till the end.
Kind of like a kit.
Till the end of the video. He may have been selling them. I wish I could give him a
Interesting.
shout out right now. I went back to Long and McQuaid the other day.
Okay.
And about 20 salesmen on the floor, one customer.
Yeah, giving away guitars.
And customer was after an amplifier.
Yeah.
And
A lot of amplifiers there.
There are.
A lot of good ones. I mean, I'm thinking Fender amps, Marshall amps.
They have those.
Yeah.
They have those too.
Vox amps.
Yeah, I think they have some
even
of
a
those.
high watt or two, I think.
Yeah, but actually, he was leading this customer down a different path.
Tell me all
They were
about
just
it.
starting
I'm
out
curious,
in guitar, and they wanted something under $200.
Sure.
A starter, entry level.
Yeah, more of
And-
an entry level.
They were saying, I see you got some small Fenders over here. Some, there's a little Marshall combo here.
That
kind
seems
of
good.
That's something.
That
The guy,
sounds sensible.
No. He said, you could go for those, but honestly, I'd recommend the Line 6 Spider.
Built-in effects.
Because he said, these other amps, you know the brand name, you know the name.
Yeah,
but
they've been played consistently for 60 years, sure. But
the Line 6
Yeah.
Spider has 11 custom effects.
Custom
Designed.
for you.
They're just settings.
Yeah.
That you push a button and
Yeah.
you get, 70s
Mick Taylor.
metal. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mick Taylor,
Well, I mean, presumably it covers the gamut.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, presumably
blues, hard blues, funk blues.
fusion, jazz, blues jazz.
Yeah, exactly.
But
Jazz.
all the way through new wave punk.
Well, and then what he said, he's like, you can get on this Line 6. He said it pained him. He said,
Yeah.
this one's 189, but
Yeah.
it's worth it.
It's worth it, yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
And he said, you can get anywhere
There's a headphone input.
anywhere from a classic rock tone
Mm-hmm.
to insane heavy metal distortion.
Yeah.
In this little piece of
Incredible.
gear. So, I left before I could see the purchase
Yeah.
fulfilled, but
You have the inkling.
I have a feeling they went Line 6 Spider.
And then, like, how do you play these things? Like, how does it work? Like, volume wise.
Well, I looked on the website and Line 6 themselves
yeah.
say that the amp demands that you play it at a high volume.
Yeah. Like an AI. It's like got AI or something. It knows.
It'll just be like,
It'll turn
you
up.
got it on 3 or 4,
No.
it's going to sound like shit.
No.
You get her up to 8 plus.
Yeah.
That's when you really get into the tones.
Well, it's when you kind of get that classic, well-known Line 6 tone.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's when you get
and
that
I mean,
kinda-
you and I have been in quite a few studios
Yeah.
around. You walk in, you always see in the
Well,
corner.
you're looking for it.
You're always seeing the corner a 15-watt
Yeah.
Line 6 Spider.
Well, you're looking for it.
yeah.
You're there and you're like, when you go to, as a professional musician, you go to these studios, and you're looking at their gear specs, one
The
of the
website. Yeah. I go straight down. It's usually alphabetical.
I go to L.
Fender,
L,
Fender, Line
L.
6. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll book it. $1,000 a day.
It only makes. I've heard people say in studios, like, sometimes you only want to get, like, people are looking just for names, you can get like a 1073 clone, right? You can get a 1073 like Neve clone, but like you can spend 5 times as much as that and get a real Neve. And even if the clone is as good as the real Neve, it doesn't matter. People are looking for the name Neve. Mm-hmm. And that's why those names command such high prices, because then you can raise your price point, day rate in a studio. Mm-hmm. One product that I know that bucks that trend is the Line 6 Spider, which costs significantly less and has less of a reputation to people not on the inside. As just being kind of a shit amp.
Yeah.
But
What you save in money, you make up for in power and tone.
Yeah, purchasing power.
Yeah. I mean, really just like simplicity too, You spend hours. I don't know about you, James. I played guitar for quite a while. I spend hours, literally years of my life.
Trying to even just plug the guitar in.
Just twiddle the knobs and get that magic sound.
that kind of
I
Neil-
can't do it. I can't do it.
right.
I'm still trying. But with this, you know, if I could just have an amp that would just have one like button I could push
That says blues.
down by the river.
Yeah. Just says blues.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Now I can just play music, which is what I want to do. You know, I'm not a scientist.
No.
I don't want to be.
Do you think that Mick Taylor could have given Dwayne Allman a run for his money?
No.
Do you think that Can You Hear Me Knocking has a Santana feel?
The end jam. Yes. Gets 100%.
Yeah.
Although not a lot of sax in Santana. I love that sax. Bobby Keys, baby. But that riff, I mean, when you're talking pound for pound riffs,
Yeah.
to me, no one beats Keith.
Yeah.
I've said this before. And like, Can You Hear Me Knocking?
Dadgad.
The thing about the Stones, and like, it really, really, I mean, it happens before. It really, really comes to life on Sticky Fingers, is to me, I think you can break bands down by like the Stones are a guitar drums band.
Okay.
Rhythm guitar drums band.
Like AC/DC?
Beatles, yeah. Beatles are vocals and bass group to me.
Sure.
Like the bass lines carry the melody a lot of the time.
It's true.
And the vocals are big. You could strip everything away and just have vocals on a Beatles tune. It would be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But Stones...
I bet you can do that on YouTube.
Oh, you can, dude. If you listen to Helter Skelter, isolated...
Yeah. That being said, Jagger's vocals on Sticky Fingers, his best vocal performance.
Yeah. But think about it. Like, when Can't You Hear Me Knockin' starts out with that riff, and then Charlie comes in playing, you don't need anything else. Yeah, it's sweet when, like,
it's
the bass
sweet.
comes...
It's actually sweet. His drums are sweet on that song.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No one has that Charlie Watts feel.
No, it's true.
And, you know, those in the know would counter with, well, you know, he never plays the hats on the snare beats.
How does he get that snare tone? People ask me all the time.
Yeah, all the time. Everyone's asking me.
Has nothing to do with the snare he used.
Interesting.
The way he played.
No.
The way it was recorded.
Nothing. No.
All it is that there's no hi-hat mixed with the snare. So
plays threes on the hats a lot.
any of you can do that.
Anyone can do that at home.
Set up an old mic and whatever through your phone. It'll sound
better, probably, because technology's got better.
Yeah, it's true. No, man, drums. Like, think about those riffs. Like, think about like Jumpin' Jack Flash.
Yeah.
Like, Can't You Hear Me Knockin'? You know,
Brown Sugar.
Keep Honky Tonk Women. Like, you take away. It's just drums and guitar, dude. Everything else filling in the sound.
Yeah,
I love it.
Filling in the
Philly sound.
Filling in the sound with Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
I know there's
that sax, though. That, to me, the Stones got really cool when they started having that sax, man.
When they started getting...
Horn section.
I mean, it's the horniest record they made. I mean, that seems actually like, as soon as I said that, I'm like, it's not. It's not as horny as Tattoo You, or like, you know, but...
Some girls just want to get fucked all night. Like,
yeah, little TNA.
Black Limousine.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like that era Disco Stones, too, though, because... I thought it was cool that Mick picked up the guitar. What about Mick and Keith as a guitar duo on some
No
girls?
Expectations of stuff, and like they do the acoustic
He plays
stuff.
guitar on Some Girls, like on lots of the songs.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the Tongue was designed in 1971 too, same era.
Yeah, well, it's on the label here, right?
Yeah, so it's like it's designed in 71. So to me, this is like the nadir. This is the pinnacle. This is where the shift to corporate synergy starts. Where they're just like, you know what? Because this is like...
Well, and they drifted from competing with the Beatles to just... This is stuff that the Beatles can't compete with, like, because they just go straight, you know, country blues.
Yeah. Bluesier than blue.
Beatles could do that, like, on one song.
Bluer than blues.
You know, like Get Back or something.
Sure.
But, you know, this record, man, I mean, it's just beautiful. Wild Horses sounds great.
Naivety of a British band playing blues music in only the way, and this is a Pacquian theory of blues, in only the way that the British bands could, because they had a distance from the African American experience.
Yeah.
They had an ocean in between, so they didn't see that the message itself was, the pain was it wasn't something you could access, but it also wasn't understood in any way because there was no real contact
Well, I
with
think
it.
they also just didn't pretend to try and understand.
Sure, they didn't pretend to understand the
That's
African
what it
American
is. Like
experience.
the problem with white American blues is that these people identify
too heavily with
the
with
plight
the,
of the black American. And they sort of think that because they have a guitar and play like 12-bar blues,
they're the same as Fred McDowell.
They're in touch with some kind of soulful thing that like Muddy Waters.
Delta.
Yeah, and it's
a Delta
it's
experience.
like pretty like offensive when you think of it that way.
Yeah.
Whereas the guys in the UK just were into the music.
We just want to play the blues.
And they translated it into like they mixed blues with like
just country,
folk.
wearing cowboy boots.
Well, country
It's
wearing,
kind of just the aesthetic.
as Luke said, like Mick Jagger, like pretending he's from Bakersfield or something like, and like doing an accent,
Always singing in an American accent.
Thank you for your wine, California.
Yeah,
Like,
and somehow it's
he's
okay.
never even been
It's
there.
great. Who has?
Yeah,
Honestly?
like Dead Flowers. Like this one's equally country as it is blues.
It is
country
but
blues.
It's country blues.
Bitch, man.
Yeah.
Come on,
riffs, dude. Come
like
on.
3 notes.
Yeah.
Satisfaction, like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Is like, it's like Jimmy Page has riffs.
Yeah.
But like nobody knows how to play them really. Like,
No one's ever played
they're
them.
really hard.
You can pretend you
air
can play them
guitar,
because
you
no
would.
one can even check it.
Keith's is like you pick up a guitar and you're like, that's how it goes. Bow down, bow down, bow down, bow. Like it's 3 notes. It's one. It's and you're just like, how do you keep coming up with those?
They were all available. That's how.
I know.
They were all there to be taken.
It's like Sister Morphine. Didn't they steal that one from?
There's
Marianne
only
Faithfull?
there's only 12 notes, man, in the blues. There's only 12 notes available. So, it's how it was. It's just the ways you arrange them.
Is that from A Star Is Born?
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Sway.
Sway.
I'm sorry, I'm just looking
Sway.
at the track list.
Sway.
Like they're not even real chords, are they?
No, it's just open G.
It is, and like he used to take strings off his guitar, so
Yeah.
it would sound weird. See, that shit's so cool. Talk about technician.
Yeah.
Like to
Yeah.
do something like make your guitar 4 strings so that no one can
Because-
ever figure out how.
Well,
Can
also
have you
because
ever
you-
tried to
because
play "Can You Hear Me Knocking" the riff?
No.
At the start, I give you an hour. I bet you could.
Well, I'm left-handed, so, I feel like I could probably figure it out.
I don't think. Look,
under
I'm
an
saying
hour.
that because I think it's.
Can I
like,
go on the internet?
It's
Look
weird
at tabs?
stuff like that.
Can I go on
You can't.
guitartab.com?
You can't.
I can't.
I just want to give a shout out right now to my favorite cover band in the entire world, the Good Time Boys,
Oh, yeah.
Hollywood, California.
Yeah.
Got the news today. First Good Time Boys rehearsal happened last night. Since
Music's
March.
back.
So in my opinion, rock and roll is making a big comeback.
I've been lucky enough to grace. I've treaded the boards with those boys.
You played. They never asked. I don't think that's part of the reason I never thought I was good enough at music. I never got the call.
I only got the call because Jimmy Sweet was incapacitated that weekend. So
That's what happens when you live a rock and roll lifestyle.
well, you
like
live
Jimmy
hard and
does.
fast. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah. The
He's
kind of
kind of-
natural.
He's kind of a Bobby Keys type, like just in his like rock and roll energy.
the kind of natural successors to the Rolling Stones.
In many ways.
You have to go through a fucking refrigerator to see those guys.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Or a vending machine. There's all sorts of.
Yeah, there's the vending machine one. That's Davy Wayne's, I think.
Yeah, no, that's the other one. Dave
yeah.
Wayne's is the refrigerator.
Yeah,
Where you
yeah.
walk in and you don't know. And you know what gets me every time? West Hollywood, you're walking in, you're like, where's this venue? I don't know. And you're in, it feels like you're in a That 70s Show style, like, garage.
Yeah.
And then there's a guy being like, oh, you're looking for the show? This way. And they opens a fucking fridge and you walk through and you're in a bar. Come
It's crazy.
on.
Yeah. The break room. Yeah.
Yeah, and then that's the vending machine. They got my ass with the vending machine one. That's the more 80s feel.
Yeah.
That's kind of
well,
more.
they do 80s there.
Yeah,
And
that's
they do
more like
70s
emotional rescue.
At Davy Wayne's.
yeah, but that one's great.
Great group. I'm not even joking.
No.
Every time I go to the show, like I'm always like,
Get
I've
keyed
seen
up.
I've seen the Good Time Boys about, I don't know, 20, 30 times. And every single time I'm like, here we go again. I've seen these guys. Every time I have a good time.
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
Imagine how fucking feel good like that jam's going to be. Just a new dawn in America,
They do a great version of Hollywood Nights by Bob Seger.
Certainly do, yeah.
They often kick off the show with that.
When I played, we kicked off with Hollywood Nights, yeah. There's a medley of Moonlight Matinee and Hotel California or something.
Moon Age Daydream.
Yeah.
Hotel California.
My head, I'm free associating over here
No,
today.
it's true, yeah.
Yeah, and then there's another one that was good. There's another good medley. I don't know. I was
close with Highway to Hell.
I was just trying to keep up with them, honestly.
I bet.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep up and keep my mouth shut.
Closest I've ever got is doing when they do the live karaoke. I get to sing with the group. Did a really good Dancing in the Dark last year before the lockdown, you know.
It's a classic karaoke track of yours.
Speaking of lockdown,
Yeah.
I'd just like to say, because here we are in Vancouver and we're entering another lockdown period, that I'd just like to, say that there's one singer-songwriter who's really got his finger on the pulse of what's happening right
Sure.
now. Politically.
Psychotically, sonically.
Psychotically, for sure. And his name is Van the Man Morrison.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of you have seen
The leprechaun himself.
what he's been doing, but
He's kind of segued. He's gone the James Woods style. Yeah.
You think, he kind of drifted away after Tupelo Honey or something.
Yeah,
you know?
or like TB Sheets.
Let me tell you,
No.
he's back in a big way.
Yeah.
It's a continuation of what he did last year with a collection of songs he put out called Three Chords and the Truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now he's put out a series of anti-government songs. You know, I love all that kind of stuff.
Kind of a stop the vote
Damn the
energy.
man. Yeah, exactly. Stop the count.
Stop the count kind of
Energy.
Yeah.
And he's got one song called, it's kind of my favorite of the three. It's a series, trilogy. It's a musical trilogy.
It's a journey.
No More Lockdown. It's called. No
Profound.
More Lockdown. James, pick it up for a second here. I just want to get the lyrics up for you.
Yeah, I mean,
because you know Van,
the man
being a. I just like when I see celebrities doing something with
positive
with their power and status. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I can see him making a quick call to say James Woods or OJ. Or other famous kind of celebrities who are willing to speak out.
Yeah, so the song goes like this. It's a blues. It's kind of a
bluesy
soul
feel.
Yeah, it's a classic Van.
Classic brown-eyed girl kind of like.
Of a romp, more of a kind of like.
And you know Van Morrison only listens to his own
Domino
music. He said that. He's famous for saying
that's
that.
why it all sounds so original. Like
yeah.
And no more original than these. It goes like this. No more lockdown. No more government overreach. No more fascist police disturbing our peace.
Oh. So it's kind of a libertarian view, Tea Party feel.
No more taking of our freedom and our God-given rights.
Right.
Pretending it's for our safety when it's really to enslave.
Wow. Does he know he's not from America?
Who's running our country? Who's running our world? Yeah.
Kind
Examine
of a QAnon.
it closely and watch it unfurl.
Unfurl because it rhymes with world.
Yeah, he found a good rhyme there.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
No more lockdown. No more threats. No more Imperial College scientists making up crooked facts.
I can see how with his accent, those two lines would rhyme.
And here's the best.
Threats and facts.
Yeah.
Threats and facts.
Here's my favorite part.
The coup de grace.
No more lockdown. No more pulling the wool over our eyes.
Right.
No more celebrities telling us what we're supposed to feel.
I mean, that's him.
Which some could argue
Yeah.
is what he's doing here, but no more status quo.
Status quo mentality.
Yeah. No more lockdown, no more lockdown, no more lockdown. Refrain.
Yeah. It's kind of like what you could say he's going against the status quo mentality.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know?
I mean,
jargon.
I just want to say right now, I know that Van Morrison will be doing many pods on him.
Yeah.
But
you've been desperate to do Moondance for fucking...
I do love Moondance.
Yeah.
But I know for a fact that he competed with Dylan a lot in his own mind in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say with certainty, I think he's finally matched him now.
Yeah, I could say so.
What's Bob Dylan doing right now? Not saying anything, you know?
Oh, he's just sitting back, probably hanging out with AOC somewhere.
Sitting back just like not spreading COVID.
with snowflakes.
Boring life.
Yeah, boring life. Not trying to endanger.
Not engaging with people.
Not engaging
you know?
with the real.
Getting out
with
there.
the truth.
Getting out in the crowds and really meeting the people.
I make detailed notes on this podcast. Detailed notes because I take myself quite seriously when it comes to rock and roll history.
I haven't made one joke today.
I said notes, but
No, I know, but you say you take yourself quite seriously.
Yeah.
So what am I?
What
like
is this, a
clown?
joke podcast?
What about, like,
I don't even know what that word means.
It's nothing funny about it.
Well,
Go ahead, James.
I've made a note here, and I can't remember why, but it's a link to a website called groovyhistory.com. And it's which I think sounds like the kind of website I'd use. And it's got a little. I'm just gonna go through this article here because we got 25 minutes to go, and I need another coffee. So, Sticky Fingers by the Rolling Stones, album history, meaning, and stories. Okay, let's have a look what we got. Yeah. First Stones album of the 70s doesn't have the rambling excess of Exile. Sure.
Well, yeah.
I mean,
maybe a good thing. I don't know.
Oh, they created to get the band out of debt.
That was Exile, I thought.
Well, I thought so too. They went to France, didn't they?
Groovy history?
Yeah,
what the hell is this?
Yeah. This is groovy history. 3 songs recorded at Muscle Shoals. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blues feel.
As bluesier than thou.
Yeah.
I mean, down there.
Oh, man.
Down in Alabama, Sheffield, Alabama. Come on. Which songs do you think were recorded there?
Brown Sugar.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? It's not surprising, the next two.
You Got to Move.
Yeah, cover, right? It's a Mississippi
and
Fred McDowell cover.
I don't know. Dead Flowers. Wild Horses.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow.
Maybe the most played kind of wedding song. There's a Wild Horses. There's a CanCon Wild Horses, isn't there?
It's probably one of the most covered songs.
No, but there's a different song called Wild Horses by
Katie Lang.
Gino Vanelli.
Gino Vanelli, I hope so.
Yeah, he has a song that
I'm a big Gino fan.
A song called Wild Horses that's completely different. It's not the same song.
That's fine.
And it's just called Wild Horses. Couldn't Drag Me Away, but it's not. It's just a different tune.
Oh, I know what you mean. But that's like Rod Stewart having a Tonight's the Night too. You know what I mean?
Sure. Rod did a lot of covers in his way.
But I think that one's
Tim Hardin, didn't he? He used to cover Tim Hardin.
I just like to, because I've just been moved by this, with everything happening in our world right
by
now.
groovy history?
Another Van Morrison song here. This one just came out. It's a hot, fresh single
Okay.
from Belfast Cowboy. Okay. As I walked out, all the streets were empty. The government said everyone should stay home. And they spread fear and loathing and no hope for the future.
Wow.
Not many did question this very strange move. On the government web, these are the lyrics to the song.
I'm surprised he's not just releasing a book of poetry.
These are the lyrics to the song.
On the government
the government website from the 21st March 2020, it said COVID-19 was no longer high risk. Then 2 days later, they put us under lockdown. Then why are we not being told the truth?
Interesting.
By all the media outlets and the government lackeys, why is this not big news? Why is it being ignored? Why no checks and balances? Why no second opinions?
Interesting.
Why are they working and why are not we? Why are we not?
I mean, not we would be more of a Tudor energy. Yeah, but
James Joyce.
He's capable of that.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. Anyway, and at the end, I listened to this one yesterday. Why are they working and why are we not? Is repeated about 15 times at the end.
It's an incantation almost.
Yeah. So. He
kind of pagan.
Maybe he's got a job in his older age somewhere, and he wants to go.
You
probably
can go.
Just like wants to go to the pub and get drunk, and he's upset.
They did close the bars in Ireland for a bit.
That's what it is.
I don't know if he lives in Northern Ireland anymore, but
probably not. He probably lives in fucking Malibu.
Yeah,
like
I think so.
I love
where you certainly could do whatever you want.
It's like these people. I just love. It's like all this shit is going on. For this year and beyond, like climate change, like pick your poison, climate change, Black Lives Matter, whatever you like. But no, this really got Van up out of his
got him-
chair. You
yeah,
know,
it got him
fuck
going.
this, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know,
I don't know.
he's just ensuring his legacy doesn't get tarnished, I suppose. He
Yeah,
just wants to stay true to himself, to his original self. I guess. Were the Stones the greatest rock band in the world in 1971? Think about it before
I've
you
talked
answer.
about this quite a few times, and it's a tough one because live band, I got to say yes.
Okay.
But because this is the classic question, like who opens Stones Zeppelin?
Yeah.
I think Stones headline any of those shows. Floyd, Zeppelin, anything at that time.
I think one thing that you have to consider is that in 1971, they're still beautiful men, right? Like, they're really beautiful. And that's like part of it, I think, where it's like you're going to see a performance. It's like they're young, sexy men who are just, much like you saw with bands from that era, like you watched them almost reality TV style grow up from these like cute boys in suits, kind of adolescent boys, into like young bucks, you know? And I think
They dress cool.
They dress cool, they're sophisticated, and they're also, you know, horny as hell. And they're at that age. So, yeah, I think that that's part of it. And I can't
never
think
really thought Bill Wyman was too much of a looker, but
that's why he only
That's-
went for 14-year-olds, isn't it?
I suppose.
Because, you know, I mean, they're not thinking about that stuff yet, I suppose. But I think that, like, in that era, they're the sexiest band, too.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Sexier than the Beatles in 71.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they are the sexiest band, I think.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, at that time.
I mean, it's raw sex energy.
Yeah.
Like, on stage.
Yeah.
They had a giant inflatable penis, for God's sakes. Up
Yeah.
there. Like,
absolutely.
I don't know if you saw some of that. I was texting you last night, just some
Yeah.
ideas to talk about. If you're familiar with Bill Wyman's restaurant chain, Sticky Fingers, that now it
That's
has
kind of a barbecue
There's one
thing?
in Manchester now.
Is there?
Actually, I thought maybe you'd gone there. Yeah.
No, I mean,
First
that's
one
my
opened
parents.
in London in 1989.
Yeah.
And
Is it on
yeah.
Carnaby Street?
So I'm not sure the address, but yeah, this is serving up a great selection of American
Styled, yeah, barbecue. Blues
It is.
inspired food.
No, it
Memphis
is.
blues.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like
Kinda
ribs.
Ribs.
Yeah.
Wings.
Yeah.
Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
You can
At
get.
affordable prices.
What about?
I mean, it's London, so it can't be that affordable, I guess.
Could you get a crawfish there? Do you think? Probably.
I can pull up the menu
Shrimp.
if you
Yeah,
want.
let's have a look. Pull up the menu.
Yeah. But I just like to see that he, turned his success into
Something.
he reinvested.
Reinvented himself because he's just got a sketchy history.
Stickyfingers.co.uk. Here we
Yeah,
go.
co.uk was
Currently closed. That's sad.
Yeah, but they're doing their thing.
Yeah. Well, they obviously don't have
He doesn't have a Van Morrison approach to
Van Morrison to
lockdown.
Just pull up the menus here. Booking birthday parties. That'd be
Yeah.
fun. Apparently, it was a real celebrity hotspot in the 90s.
Is he there ever?
Yeah.
Well, he'll be there.
I saw a thing with him like from last
He's
year
just there.
celebrating the anniversary of Sticky Fingers, the album.
Interesting.
The 50th anniversary, had a big party at the restaurant. Party menu or Monday Madness?
I want to. Yeah, I mean anything.
Yeah, just the menu here. I'll
Okay.
pull it up. Kind of some bluesy options here. But you got burgers. You got the old time burger. You got the New Yorker. Oh so smoky.
Yeah.
The Southern fried chicken bun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let's.
You know,
What does it come on?
Cajun cauliflower chicken wings.
Cauliflower. That's like the vegetarian thing.
Yeah, I guess, but it's still Cajun. Ooh, you got the Texas chili bowl, corn tortillas and sour cream.
Yeah.
£7.95.
That's a good deal. I mean, you think that's cheap actually.
Smoking ribs and chicken combo.
Do they have any descriptions of the food? Like
Baby back ribs stacked,
see, that's a TGI Friday special.
and grilled quarter bone-in chicken with your choice of sticky barbecue sauce.
Yeah, sticky.
Or hot buffalo sauce served with fries and apple coleslaw.
Apple slaw.
Apple slaw. Yeah. Sticky barbecue sauce on a lot of the stuff must be signature.
Kind of sticky fingers.
Yeah.
See, this is the corporate synergy I'm talking about.
Exactly.
This is Stones after about 1974 just were like, let's just cash in. They majorly sold out, and it's funny for some reason that they did it. So
Interesting here. One of the signature cocktails, top of the menu list, called the Purple Rain.
interesting.
That's interesting. Why not name it after a Stones song?
What would you call it if it was named after a Stones song?
Oh man, good. I wish I was quicker with this.
Dude, if I'd had a couple of beers, I'd have that.
I'd have so many.
I'd have so many.
I'm sure we'll get a lot of texts with a good one.
Yeah.
I don't know, the Sweet Virginia.
That's pretty good.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's Ventilator Blues about? Is that kind of a Crosby thing?
Ventilator Blues? You
He's
mean
got
freebasing like
Yeah.
Dennis Hopper style? Dennis Hopper style. No,
a
I
good
don't
one.
think it's to do with that. Cocksucker Blues, eh?
I've seen that.
Brutal.
Apparently, a lot of it was staged.
Really?
Yeah, like the scenes of the drug use and
They
and-
just, they're so fucking skagged out in that and like not having fun. On a private
No.
jet, just not having any fun.
No, it looks. I remember watching that and being like, "Cool party with the Stones."
But it's just
I
like
was
the
it looks like the worst.
The
time.
roadies are having a party.
Yeah.
The roadies are the ones like screwing around and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty brutal.
No, you know what would be a good name for a drink? Rocks Off.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah. Start me up.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah,
Yeah. That's a good one.
tequila.
Yeah.
kind of a
Kind of a tequila based one. Anyone have any better suggestions? Let us know. All it will take is going through their discography. I'm sure you could come up with a
the
few.
best name for a cocktail based on a Stones song. We'll also need the ingredients of what's in it.
Yeah.
The best one, we will choose one and we'll
make
make
it,
one and
yeah.
we'll start the next pod with it.
Yeah. And actually, I wanted to say, because we've not quite got to the end of this, big shout out to the DMs this week about a lot of stuff, a lot of interesting knowledge. Someone, let me go through it.
I mean, P. Shitty was
Oh,
the
he's
one, our buddy who really turned me on to the Van Morrison stuff.
Yeah. Big thanks to him.
Although I felt like maybe he had some kind of a problem with it, so I don't.
I
Really
want to
know.
look at who was it that threw Bo Diddley in the ring, threw Bo Diddley's hat in the ring for the Picara Rosanna shuffle.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, that's true.
that was a big one, and sent us a video.
Yeah.
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 So thanks for that. And sorry, I can't remember your name. We're getting a lot of these things now, but I really appreciate it. And it's all in the kick pattern. as you
Also, our friend Rye Guy let us know, reminded me of the great Long and McQuaid slogan,
said. Yeah,
"Where the music begins."
yeah.
That's their tagline.
It
It is.
It's
You
true.
go and you buy yourself a Jackson guitar and a Line 6 Spider, and you just run with the ball, man. It's fucking 100 free yards into the end zone from that point.
yeah, it's an amazing place.
Sorry, I was watching football this morning. I don't know if
Well, I watched soccer. It's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
We got a big day today.
Yep.
We got to go mask up and play with some preamps.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
No more lockdown, man.
No more lockdown. No, it can't get in the way of music and art. And I think that's what Van's probably trying to say.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, I think so. Seems like he's like just upset he can't go to the corner store and like buy a cigar or something. No.
You think he smokes cigars? Protect his voice?
I've seen him when. You know what the funniest part about this is? In all seriousness, his voice sounded great.
Really?
On these recordings, I couldn't believe it.
Still got it.
I was like, fuck, he sounds great, man.
Amazing.
He had that old Van charm. Almost got me. I'm Northern Irish.
Well,
So-
yeah, by way of Cuba.
Yeah, well, my dad's Northern Ireland, my mom's Cuba.
Cuba.
So, yeah. So
So you're kind of you potentially could have voted Trump with your Latin brothers in Florida.
No,
your
I
Cubanos.
No. I know for a fact, and this is I got to get serious here because my mom was really upset about a lot of the Miami Cubans who voted for Trump, but all of her she has family in Florida. We do, and all of them voted Biden this year. So obviously there's a lot of support for Trump there, but not everybody. But so obviously my family would Go
growing
Joe.
up.
They would have gone Joe.
They
had
would
I
have
been
go. They would
American.
go Joe.
They would go Joe. Yeah, but give a shout out to my Cuban mother actually for hooking us up with a lot of AA batteries. The last time I visited her, she went to Costco and bought like a super pack of Duracells. So,
Super pack.
Gracias, Mom.
We need them for this because we've just had to change them again. And we're changing them because we just want to make sure that the quality of the fidelity of the recording.
You don't want... I mean, I tell you, weren't you watching the CBC the other day?
Oh my God.
And they were trying to, or like listening to, and they were trying to do like just talk to someone.
Yeah, I was listening to Q, and respect to Tom Power, but he was saying that he was saying like he was going to do an interview, and he said, the producers here are working so hard, but we are over Zoom here, so this interview will cut in and out. And I was thinking, we've figured that out in about 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It took to figure out how to get over that, hurdle.
We're looking to win some technical awards for sure.
Yeah.
You know that there are, I think there are Vancouver Podcast Awards, which should be our goal to win.
I mean, my first goal still is to be able to afford that CSNY Doom Tour box
But we're going to
set.
start up a Patreon soon.
Yeah.
Just so that we can buy this kind of dumb shit and talk about it.
Yeah.
Because as failed musicians, we have no money of our own.
I just think of the Stones in this time, and I think of what they look like, and I think about them.
And you want to sleep with them.
No, it reminds me of kind of, an era in my own life, and one that you probably had too. In fact, I know you do, because I used to see you around, that kind of like early 20s, newfound confidence.
Uh-huh.
You're going in a bar, you're showing up, you got your copy of Howl, that you're ready to, kind of quote from, kind of, I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, that kind of stuff. You're there and you got your velvet blazer on, refined, a kind of European approach, maybe a bohemian, a dandy of the grotesque.
Sipping an old-fashioned.
I was going to say Manhattan, but sure, I've seen, I've seen you.
I was more into, that was my kind of classy drink.
Negroni, and I'm there, and people are curious. They're looking over, and I'm saying, like, give me a minute, I'm just going to finish my own poetry off. Working on my memoirs. But it's more of a tarantula style memoir.
Right.
It's very avant-garde. It's modernist, kind of a T.S. Eliot thing.
Yeah.
And these
You're just in there to write, but inevitably, somebody wants
more.
A bit of you.
Someone wants more.
Yeah.
Like you would imagine happened to the Stones in that. They want a piece of it, and often in that situation, it's kind of like, sure, we could go back to my place. I've got a Thorns, some Dynacos, A25s, and a vast collection.
So you were into that kind of stereo component stuff at that early an age? Huh?
Well, I just found that it
I was more of a just come home, I've got like a
Kerouac.
A mattress on the floor, stacks of books, and like a jug of wine. Sort of a Dharma Bums, like a Jaffe Rider feel. One pair of chords, like one good pair of jeans.
Yeah, wherever I lay my hat is my home.
Solid pair of boots.
Yeah.
And
I was kind of I respect
didn't own
that.
a comb then, you know what I mean? It was just like
I know I respect
come
that,
as you are.
but I was kind of more of a like, we can go back to mine. I have a copy of Bitches Brew in quadraphonic. It's audiophile. In fact, it's the number one audiophile. Sure, I know you're saying "Hail to the Thief." I mean, that has been
that was the era.
That has been considered, but I kind of go more the jazz route. I go for the third time Miles reinvented music. So we can go back.
I love that. Yeah, that in a silent way. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good to throw on in those times.
Yeah, I ain't gonna do a kickflip. No, I'm not gonna do that.
No,
I'm refined.
No, I didn't have a skateboard at that time.
I wasn't a child anymore.
Yeah,
I wasn't adolescent. I wasn't in my adolescence anymore. And I think that is kind of in keeping with Stone Sticky Fingers energy.
But I was already at my like Sticky Fingers era period.
Really?
Like I was, and that was the thing. There were a lot of people walking around who were big Brian Jones
still,
types.
absolutely.
Didn't get down
Paisley
with it.
side.
Didn't get into it.
No, Paisley side.
I was already into my Exile phase at that time.
Yeah, you were kind of almost into you didn't spend much time in the late 60s, did you, aesthetically?
Yeah, I did, but I was already like
not satanic 60s though.
I did.
Would you say that aesthetically you've
never
mostly been post Altamount?
Yeah, I didn't, and early 60s.
Oh, okay.
I didn't really get
kind
into
of freewheeling
the psychedelic movement.
No, you're Greenwich Village.
Well, I like Motown, Philly sound.
Philly stuff.
Girl groups were my big thing.
Yeah.
Like, I became obsessed with...
Spectre stuff.
Well, and just, like, all those chiffons.
Shirelles.
The Angels, the Shirelles, everybody, the Dixie
Crystals.
Cups. I used to get all those...
Iko. You were kind of a Dixie Cups.
Love
Mr.
Dixie
Lee.
Cups. Yeah, Chapel of Love.
Yeah. Fish fry energy.
I love that stuff. I love soul music. And then when obviously I loved all the great bands, but didn't get into like at that time I was not interested
Strawberry
in
Alarm Clock.
No.
Quicksilver Messenger
it
Service.
Seemed corporate. Like
really?
You talk about psychedelic music, it just seemed like there were a few good records, and then everybody jumped on the board, and it was really boring, I thought. That's why I like Dylan. I like country music.
So you're not really like a Haight-Ashbury guy.
No, I liked, from the late 60s, I was into like Nashville Skyline and Sweetheart of the Rodeo, like psychedelic cosmic country music. And,
but I'm talking
Kinks.
Aesthetically.
Kinks,
how that impacted We're talking about how this impacted your fashion.
What? Oh, right. Yeah. Well, no, definitely. I would say I was a bit of a dandy.
Yeah. Were you, but you weren't into like oil paintings?
I was like more like one long jacket.
Yeah.
That I wore every single day.
No comb.
And like, just whatever underneath, like, kind of raggedy shirt.
Yeah. Kind of a blues traveler.
Yeah. A dusty kind of windswept look.
Windswept approach, different kinds of approach.
Yeah.
Different feels.
But, it depends what year. We'd have to really get into this because I kind of jumped around. Like, then I got into a really California kind of beach bum vibe.
Yeah, I remember
where
that
I did
era.
like white sneakers all the time and like slacks and like sort of
You're kind of like those Dunlop sneakers that people would wear. Kind of a Jimmy Iovine, like Jewish music producer, kind of white cap.
Yeah.
White cap, white
Didn't
jeans.
really wear a hat ever back then.
Kind of like maybe some like moto, like F1 like style t-shirt. Like maybe that's like a Shell t-shirt or something. Like corporate stuff, but like cars.
Yeah, that kind of thing, for sure. But then
a leather satchel.
But then always, sometimes I would go at that time a lot, and I'm kind of doing it a bit right now, a bit of a Marvin Gaye "Let's Get It On" thing.
I see you
where
got
I do like a toque, a big beard, and like a military kind of fatigue look. Yeah. I did that a lot in the winter. Mm-hmm. But then by night, if I was clean shaven, it was always a Beatlesy vibe. I would always look to Paul for that kind of smart
casual
kind of
sweater vest,
tennis shirt, or a nice sweater with kind of I love an Argyle pattern.
Sure,
I did a lot of that back then.
What kind of books were you taking with you to the bar to impress women back then?
Good question. I think I was pretty. I was trying to
Kerouac
make through. No, I think a lot of. Kurt Vonnegut, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Breakfast of Champions. That kind of thing.
That's great stuff.
Yeah.
His son wrote a memoir set in BC as a draft dodger, where he came here and tried to set up a commune and lost his mind. It's called The Eden Express. It's a great book for anyone who likes reading. Just period. It's a great book because and anyone who's interested in the history of Vancouver, because it's set here very much. And shout out to Malcolm, because I think he was the one who turned me on to that. He was kind of had a Dr. John Grigri feel back then.
Yeah, I mean, he still does.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he's kind of the night.
He always had that
night tripper,
which was pretty cool.
Yeah. We should do that record with him.
You had definitely had more of a hippie vibe for sure.
I had a Paisley vibe, and then I got really into Petty.
Maybe I feel like you wore like a bandana sometimes.
I probably would wear a kind of, I don't know about a bandana, but I'd probably wear like a scarf.
Yeah.
Like a dandy scarf. Very Stonesy. But kind of Brian Jones Stones. For sure.
Yeah.
But then I got into like the Tom Petty, Down the Torpedoes just look, like red t-shirt, black velvet blazer.
Right.
Crushed velvet.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. That's
Copy
a real
of Tarantula.
70s.
Yeah.
Real 70s. I say I never got down with that. It's like the Kinks on the cover of Muswell Hillbillies when
Yeah.
they just got like green pants and like a velvet blazer.
Yeah.
And like a brown shirt.
Yeah.
Couldn't get a lot of weird color matching.
There's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Lots to take in.
Yeah.
Well, we should go to your studio.
All right, sounds
Okay.
good.
Peace.